Rune Hours in late July 2012, Mandy was scrolling through her Facebook feed. In late July 1987, she and her classmates had been playing rounders. Part of an afternoon out, a school trip, to mark the end of an era, their time at primary school. So long ago, the beginning of the summer break, between primary and secondary schools. Michael and Richard are taking bets. In her mind, Mandy could hear her friend, Caroline's, high-pitched voice, as distinctly as if she were in the room right now, and as if Kaz still spoke exactly like her 11-year-old self. Kaz. The nickname made Mandy smile. She probably didn't get called that anymore. It sounded so 1980s. Michael and Richard, boys she'd known since her infant days, had always been taking bets on something. That day, it was bets on which team would win the game, and who would get rounders. So, what's new? Demanded their other friend, Emma. In reality, Caroline and Emma were best friends with one another, increasingly so. Mandy was second best friend to the other two, but they usually allowed her to tag along. I don't see the point myself, said Caroline. I mean, it's obvious which team will win, well, unless they put Tristan on one side, and Steve on the other. Which they never do, said Emma. Precisely. They always end up on the same team. Then, Tristan goes on first post, and Steve on fourth. Which means almost no one is going to get round from the opposing side. They ought to bet on whether you can get round, Mandy, said Emma, finally remembering Mandy even existed, if only because she spotted her latest opportunity to have a dig. That really would be pointless, remarked Caroline, dissolving into giggles. She can't even hit the ball, let alone manage a rounder. And these were supposed to be her friends. Some friends, right? Mandy didn't realize then that she had dyspraxia. That wasn't diagnosed until much later. Would it have helped if she had known? She had a feeling it wouldn't have stopped the bullying, but at least she would have known, for her own peace of mind, that she wasn't simply rubbish at everything. She'd probably still have been called a spastic, no matter what the official label. None of the kids at school had, Mandy was convinced, known the true meaning of that, highly abused, term. Point taken, Kaz, said Emma, joining in with the laughter. Mandy took a deep breath, feeling considerably closer to tears than laughter herself. So, who would you say was the best-looking guy in the class? Oh, either Tristan or Steve, of course, no contest. Why? I would say either Tristan or Daniel. Steve's cute, but Daniel's gorgeous, said Caroline. Either Daniel or Tristan have to be the best, in my opinion. What do you think, Mandy? Mandy shrugged. I don't know. I don't really care. What's the point in asking her, said Emma. It's not as if any of them are going to be asking her out, is it? I wouldn't go out with a boy just because of his looks, anyway, said Mandy. There are more important things than that. Yes, well, anyone as fat and ugly as you would have to say that, wouldn't they, said Caroline. Trouble is, I can't see anyone going out with her for her personality, either, added Emma. And certainly not for her ability to hit a rounder's ball. Caroline giggled again. I know. But I actually have a great idea. It'll be so funny. Let's have a bet of our own. Tristan is basically the best-looking boy in our class, as decided between us, because I said Tristan or Daniel, and you said Tristan or Steve, right? I'll go with that. I wouldn't say, no. Okay, so if Mandy hits the ball, Tristan has to kiss her. Emma looked perplexed. Why would he agree to that? Because he knows it won't happen, anyway. But I just want to see if he'll agree to it. You want the best-looking guy in the class to think we're crazy. I am here, you know, Mandy reminded them. Maybe I don't want to kiss any of the boys in this class. Have you actually thought of that? Are you a lesbian, Mandy? Asked Emma. No. Then you must want to kiss Tristan, said Caroline. There he is. I'll go and talk to him. You coming, Emma? Well, Caroline and Emma did ask Tristan. And he agreed. Mandy wasn't sure at what point she had, but was working on the assumption that the whole thing was irrelevant, in any case. Until, she could only have described it as, the ball hitting her bat. She'd raised the thing as awkwardly as usual. Did the ball hit the bat, or did Mandy hit the ball? Who knew? The result was the same. No, she didn't get a rounder. But bat and ball came into contact, and apparently that was sufficient. And that was why Tristan kissed her. After which, both Steve and Daniel became competitive, and wanted to kiss her, as well. July 1987. Aged 11, Tristan had kissed Mandy, and it had been fun. He hadn't seemed to consider it the ultimate punishment that Caroline and Emma might have expected him to. There wasn't more to it. They hadn't dated. They hadn't been friends. But the kiss had happened. And now, an old school friend had tagged another old school friend on Facebook, and Mandy had followed a trail of threads on a sixth form photograph, from their comprehensive school. Caroline had gone to another school at 14, and lost touch with both Mandy and Emma. Mandy had left school at 16, and started her first full-time job. Emma had been in the sixth form, but dropped out after the first year. She was in the photo. As were Tristan, Steve, and Daniel. Looking at the three of them right then, Mandy definitely considered Tristan to be the best looking. Although she still didn't value looks, as the Emmas and Carolines of this world did. But, as she delved into the thread, underneath the image, Mandy discovered the heartbreaking truth. Tristan had died at 21. In a car crash. 10 years after kissing her, he was dead. The best-looking guy in the year, possibly. A guy Mandy hadn't known well, but who had kissed her. And in 2012, Mandy had found out about his death, in a scarily random way, via Facebook.